happening? Steph Curry wore my shoe, my signature shoe, and signed them for me. Yeah.
That's after you got shut him down tonight, too, which is great.
We play them next game. It's truly hard to put to words. Thinking back to Olympics and being able to share the floor with them, and not just the floor, getting to know each other off the court too, and building a relationship that will last a lifetime with somebody that I've idolized my whole life. So for it to come full circle to him be competing against me in my shoe, if anything, I thought it'd be the other way around. Yeah, truly crazy.
Quick follow. Obviously, the game was crazy, and the finish just made me speak. You getting used to these wild, wacky, just out of outer space finishes?
No, I'll never get used to it. I think we've talked about it, just channeling it the right way. There's some great in there. Just sometimes the outcome isn't the best, and these last two games, just the point of the game that they've happened in, have put us in a tough spot. So we learn from it. We're a full unit. We're not mad at Dylan. We're asking him to bring that energy, bring that fight every night. So on the other hand, there's gonna be times like this, but it can be controlled.
Book, you struggled in the first half offensively. There's a lot of junk defenses, a lot of blitz and stuff we've seen a few years ago. What did you do to get yourself going in the second half?
I said it in my postgame. I took my court shorts off, if you're familiar. It's like some super tight tights to, restrict you from moving too much because I've been coming back from an injury. So I retired those. Yeah.
Book, obviously you guys have talked about just what you're building, the identity and everything, but do you guys feel that other teams are starting to respect you and respect what you guys are building here?
Yeah, I'm sure it's on the scouting report that, we're going to play hard. I think a couple coaches post-game have had comments about it. So, I'm more on the side that we have a lot of talent over here, too. Yeah, the games have been, a little junkyard and physical, but, we have some true hoopers over here. So that's a good combination to have both of those things.
And then we talked to Dylan, and he was raving about Oso, and that Oso kind of screamed at him in that second quarter in the timeout. How'd you sort of see Oso rise to the occasion and just be able to play with that starting unit to close the game out?
Yeah, I mean, he's been working. He's put the work in, and, it's his time to show it. So, we've been seeing it behind the scenes, and, a little bit of a slow start, just getting acquainted with everything. But, I think he's getting more and more comfortable every game. And, he gives us the versatility to be able to play five out, play faster, switch a lot of actions. So I like the dynamic of, having Mark and him, back and forth.
Hey, Buck, can I ask you what was the evolution of why Steph was wearing your shoes?
He's a sneaker free agent right now. Him and Under Armour have parted ways, so he's going on a journey right now that he's kind of doing it with the team that he's playing against. So right when him and Under Armour parted ways, he actually reached out to me first, and I was going to reach out to him before he did that. So I like that he actually reached out to me for him. So I sent him a pack of bunch of shoes that I felt went good with their jerseys, and he sent me a message that they're comfortable, and he'll be wearing them here in Phoenix.
So is he doing that with other players too on other teams?
He has, but I don't know if he's played against one of the players of the shoes that he's worn yet.
So you guys wear the same size?
No, they come in different. They come in different sizes.
I know, but it's not your shoes, right? It's a
version of my
right,
shoe.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a break, all right?
Book, it's safe to say you've been recruiting for Nike on Nike's behalf?
Oh, 100%. You know, but whoever gets him, you know, that's a global icon with fan bases all over, and I've seen that this summer. We know how popular Steph is and has always been. Yeah.
And you'll send him some of the twos in January, I imagine?
No, I was planning on bringing some in a couple of days. He might be one of the first. Yeah, he might be one of the first ones in them.
With the shorts, are those new for you? Have you used them before?
No, I've always declined wearing them. I wore them last game versus the Lakers. Have you ever tried them? If any of you guys ever tried them? They're tight. I mean, I wear tights already, but they're super tight. And you know, maybe it was just an excuse that I was shooting the ball bad.
What led to the change of heart and like finally accepting to put them on for once?
Not wanting to get injured again. You know, I hate being on that sideline, and you know, I was fortunate enough that it was one of our breaks in the season where we had a lot of games. I mean, a lot of days in between games, so only missed 3. But you know, if it was next month or what we're doing coming up, it'd have been 7 or 8. So you know, I don't want to miss any more games.
With the junkyard element of games that you've been mentioning, it's been a signature of you guys, but also at the same time, how are you guys balancing not relying on it, if that makes sense? Because it can kind of go either way in these types of games.
Yeah, back to we have hoopers too. You know, that's what it comes down to, and you know, we'll look at it. You know, there's times of the game to be more aggressive than others, especially when you're not in foul trouble. You know, the other team's not in the bonus. You know, I think that's a time that, you know, we can up the intensity and get away with a few little tic-tac fouls. But other than that, we have the talent to play sound defense too, and, you know, we've shown that. So, you know, we can hang our hat on it.
Devin, along those same lines of defense, I mean, this is the 3rd game this season. You guys have had at least 16 steals. That leads the NBA in terms of most games. Just how fun is it to be a part of that defensive activity?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, I think it's a fun style of basketball to watch also. Everyone gets easier opportunities when we're getting steals and, you know, people can't set their defense and we get back and it's fun. It's high energy. You know, it gets the crowd involved and, you know, we felt it a lot there in the 4th quarter.
Devin, I've asked you about the reserve unit a few times before, so we can keep it specific to Jordan Goodwin today. It's not your first time playing with him. What do you see about those kind of qualities, those kind of tough, gritty, blue-collar qualities that he brings that helps for a lineup with him on the court to always be successful?
Yeah, he's been showing it all season. We've been saying he just has a knack for the basketball. And it's a skill. He has a way of finding it without being the tallest or strongest or most athletic out there. So, you know, he's a true example of, you know, finding your way to be effective. You know, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. But when the ball is in his hand, he's comfortable. So he's been a great addition for us. You know, I'm happy he's on our side.
And last quick one for you. We talked earlier about you going against doubles, and you talked about having patience versus holding your card, saving some for later at times. Do you think that trust of you being willing to get off the ball so early, even going back to the first game of the season, has kind of played into the way your team plays and kind of building confidence from there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's my job, you know, to obviously to score the ball, but to set up teammates and make their life easier, especially when teams are throwing those junk defenses. So, you know, I've been thrown in the fire through my career. I've seen pretty much, you know, every defense that you can throw, and, you know, I kind of know how to generate great looks for other people.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.